We're live. I'm Gil, most notably known as DJ SLAMZ. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, good.
Good. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Busy, but good.
Yeah. Busy life.
Yeah.
We'll start it. We'll start from the beginning. So let's start from the beginning. Where were you born? How was life growing up as a kid?
I was born in Yuba City, California. Same thing. My parents migrated here in the late 70s, and I was born a few years after that. And it was childhood was good, man. It was great for immigrants like that. My parents and my siblings made it really good for me. Life was great. And then went through the whole school thing. I have 4 sisters. I don't have any brothers, but I grew up like, you guys ever seen the movie The Sandlot?
No.
No, it's big in America. But anyways, it's like these neighborhood kids. Like back then, we didn't have any phones, right? Now kids are on their phones, and then they just kind of like link up all the time, or like they don't even link up; they just talk on phones and shit. But we kind of had like the neighborhood, like just ride bikes together. You guys, we play a lot of basketball. You guys play hockey. We play basketball, right? So just that kind of, it was a good upbringing, man. It was a blessing, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Those days are the best, man.
Yeah, old school ways, man. No phones, just
now, man.
Video games we had, but we still, we used to get in trouble for staying outside too long, and now you can't force kids to go outside.
Our kids are never.
Kids gonna play soccer on my phone. It's like, dude, there's a ball right there. Go kick it.
Yeah, it's different, man.
Our kids are never gonna really know that generation, man. Like we'd be gone for like 8-9 hours, come back at nighttime.
And get yelled at, right, for staying out too long. Now they're getting yelled at for staying in and not going out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So different. So, when did you start your journey into DJ?
I would say 2000, the late 2013-ish, I got really serious about it. Before that, I was really big into playing dhol and kind of was getting, doing the receptions and stuff like that for so long, playing with singers. I was kind of like at the point, punk.com, so it was great and everything, but it was at the point where I wanted to, expand a little bit, or I wanted to get out of the game. You know what I mean? I was like at that point.
Yeah, and that's how we grew up. I mean, like you're older than me. We grew up watching. I remember at that time known as the Slammer, right? Rocking it with live punk, man. With those videos, man, this is viral. I mean, the people that know, they know. You YouTube them, it's all over there, right?
Well, we'll definitely link some stuff in the show notes in the description, just so people can check out some of the DJ Slam stuff.
Yeah, before I was a DJ, I was totally like, and then it was good, man. It helps you get into the DJ game a little bit quicker, I think, if you're serious about it.
How was it? How was the DJ industry, or sorry, not the DJ industry, but the dhol industry, and that stuff in California versus have you been over here and done gigs over here? So how would you say they differ in terms of that, or is it kind of relatively the same?
Well, in my time, I never really came out there. I think I came out there for like a few cousins' weddings, but I never really got like to play in Canada. I go there and I come to Canada now more often to DJ than I ever did. But I mean, in my time, I can't really say how it was in Canada. I only seen like the punk rock comps. I never seen like the scene, wedding game scene or gig scene like that. I didn't really know it. But I would assume it's similar to here. I mean, I don't think it'd be much of a difference. I think you guys had more dhol players at that point, where we had just like a solid like 6-7 few that everybody knew, but you guys had more. You guys had academies. We didn't have like that kind of stuff in the early 2000s. I think that's when Sonny started learning from Raymond. You know what I mean? So like we didn't have any of that out here.
So the market wasn't as saturated, because it kind of feels a little bit more saturated over here with like a lot of options. You guys,
how many dhol players just in Surrey, man? Like last time you were talking, you're like, man, like you want to raise your prices, but how are you going to do that? It's just like 15 other guys from India that they can book, like for like $100 they're gonna go, and you're just like,
you can't do nothing about
States
that.
Is so different, it's so big,
but that wasn't the case in the early 2000s, right? That's the student things now, right? The work visas and stuff. No, that's tough, man. That's where I'm kind of appreciative that in America we don't let people in so easy.
I think we kind of skipped over a lot, man. I think the early years, that type of stuff super important. So we know how you kind of went into the DJ work, but how was it? Like, did you always want to get into the music and the dhol industry, or did you have other aspirations when you were young? And like, maybe even like, how was life in terms of like, was it kind of chill for you, or was it tough for you growing up where you were growing up, or, a little bit more on that? Cause I know we're going to get into the music stuff. We're going to get into all that stuff, but to get to know you better as a person, I think that's like massive to understand your beginnings.
Growing up, like, I mean, so it's the 90s, right? So like, my parents, and my sister, like I said, I have 4 sisters, a lot of cousins, and at that time, families got together a lot, right? I don't know about now. I feel like now they don't, but at that time we got together a lot, like, and then that's all there was. Now we got our phones, we argue on the group chats and then say F off, and we don't want to hang out with you guys anymore, and that's it. But then we didn't have that option. We actually liked hanging out with each other. So like, it was different. So, I had a good upbringing. I wouldn't change it for like anything, I'd say, but it wasn't easy by any means. I mean, we were 5 siblings, with, parents just working regular jobs, and then somehow, all 4 or 5 of us got through college, and, it was great. I used to be big into rap. I didn't start even messing with Punjabi music if it wasn't for one of my sisters getting me into it, or at around the same time Jazzy B started popping. So, it's probably 95 or something. And I seen Jazzy B and I was like, whoa, I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen, like, every other Punjabi singer I've seen is like a Pendu guy, right? With like a pag and a chadra, or like look like Malkeet, right? Nothing wrong with Malkeet. He's a great looking dude. But like Jazzy B, you were just like, whoa. And he was like on this, we had this local TV show at that one time, and they would just play all of his hits. I'm like, dude, who is this guy? And everybody in town was just talking about him. And it's like, oh, this is like Jazzy B's like this. He's wearing jerseys. He wears like white and white. Like, we didn't know white and white back then. He wore like white jerseys, white jeans, bandana, crazy hair, bang hanging. And I'm like, dude, this guy is like fresh, man. Like, he's the Punjabi Fresh Prince of Bel Air, like, I'm like, this guy's dope. And it's around the time, Saved by the Bell was popping. I don't know if you guys remember those shows, like Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
Okay, so I don't know, but yeah, and he just fit right in with that, and that was all what I was about. And I was like, dude, this was what connected me to the culture, and into that. Because of him, I got into Punjabi culture. Otherwise, I was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all that's Naughty by Nature, Too Short, just that jam. I wouldn't even messing with Punjabi music. I don't even think my Punjabi speaking was as good. It got better when I started listening to music. Now I can speak like Tate Punjabi, right? So, it was big.
What did you study in college, and then how did you transition into the DJ work, or were you already doing it before college?
No, man, I started everything DJing, believe it or not, after the age of 30.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I started really, really late, man. And compared to most people, like most kids, they're starting, 17, 18. I wasn't into it then, even though I knew what to like transition a song. I knew how to go from A to B. It wasn't clean, but I didn't start getting clean or learning it until I was way after 30. And I actually seen it. We had a family event, and they actually flew out a DJ. It's like 2012 or 2013, from Surrey. He's a convict. You guys probably know. I know you guys know Convict, right? Yeah. And the way he DJ'd, I never seen a DJ like that, mixing hip hop samples with Punjabi music. I was like, dude, how do you even do that? And that guy, he inspired me. Like, dude, this guy's dope. This is something I want to do. And that's kind of how I got into it. Transitioning, like I was transitioning out of dhol. I want to become, do something different. Or like I was telling you guys earlier, I want to leave. And I ended up DJing was my thing. Practice, and still practicing today.
Nice. Do you think starting after 30 or around that time was actually better for you versus if had you started earlier? Like maybe you're a little bit more mature, maybe you had a better understanding, or do you think it's kind of like doesn't really matter? You could kind of get in when you get in.
I mean, I'm still learning instruments today. I still take lessons on different instruments, so you can always learn. I think, I mean, I would have. Now that I think about it, should I have started earlier? Probably. I mean, some of the stuff now, should I started, but my focus was different then. My focus was, times were different then. I wanted to go in banking. I wanted to be big in like finance, or I wanted to be in the corporate world. That kind of backfired on me, which wasn't like my fault. I got fired from a really big banking job, like for no reason. And that kind of woke me up. It was kind of good things like, dude, no matter how hard you work for someone, with a snap of their fingers, you doing everything right, you can be gone. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an employee, man, there's always that risk.
Yeah. So that was kind of like my motivation. Like, dude, I see what's around me. I see what this guy from Canada came and done. Like, there's none of that around here. I can utilize that. I know I work fucking really hard at everything I do. So,
and what you've done in the years you started is insane.
Yeah, man. And that's just the thing about me is I just work when I want something, like just like a lot of other people.
You work it.
I fucking go after it, right? So that's the thing, right? So I think that helped me a lot. And seeing Convict, like I said, I was like, damn, this is my motivation. Sometimes you just need to see that one thing, right?
100%.
That one little thing, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
You see the DJs prior to you seeing him out there were more like just straight typical Desi.
We have
typical way.
No, Cali had they were doing the DJ thing at that time. The crew thing was going on, so you were part of, like, there was like two big crews out here. There was like Wicked, and there was like BPR, which is still going like 30 years strong. Yeah. And there were crews. They had like a few DJs each, right? Yeah. They all like 5-6 DJs each. Okay, this guy's part of this crew. They weren't bad by any means. They just weren't doing what Convict did at that one day. That just seemed me. And mind you, I've seen these guys DJ, and they're amazing, because I used to play dhol with these guys, right? And they were good. But what he did just sparked something in me. Like, dude, this is different. I liked it. This his whole vibe, his whole aura, the way he was doing shit. It just got me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sonny. Keep it rolling for us.
You answered that question. So I know you're also into fitness. Like JT runs BKB Nutrition.
Oh, nice.
I'm into fitness, and I know you're into fitness as well.
Yeah.
Fitness and training. How'd that all come about? You've just always been into it, or is it just something you grew up doing?
My dad actually played semi-pro soccer. He played India, England. He's always big into soccer, right? So kind of genetically, I was into it. He always pushed me to soccer, and I played from I was like 4 to 14. And then I saw similar thing. I saw Michael Jordan play basketball, and I got inspired to play basketball, right? Yeah. And to this day, I play basketball maybe 3-4 times a week. It keeps me fit. And then I think around 2003, 2004, I got into lifting weights. Yeah. At that time, the look and what everybody wanted to be and look like was just fucking this and jacked, right? And now we're more into like a fitness
aesthetics,
right? So at that point, I always knew, okay, it's good for me. It was healthy. It's gonna be good for Indians. You guys know what all diseases we all have in our genetic line, right? So it helps against that. So I just stay consistent with it, and it's become like a mental thing to me now, like where if I don't do it when I'm supposed to, it messes with me, right? Like I'm saying, I'm going to the gym today, and say shit comes up and I can't make it, or I can't work out that day, at night it's going to bug me. You're supposed to do that thing, you didn't do it. That's just the way it's become.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of people. In the beginning, it's like a goal, like to drop some weight, put on some muscle. You do it long enough, and you talk to somebody that's been doing it for almost a decade or longer, and you won't even hear them talk about, oh, it keeps me shredded. It's like, oh man, the mental health, that avenue to kind of just like feel good afterwards. Like arguing with my wife, and then you go train, and you're like, man, I'm good. Like I'm good. I'm over it. Yeah. So I think it's more the mental side, right?
There's no better feeling in the world as after getting a amazing workout. You guys know, a really good sweat, hoop session, lifting session, hit session, whatever you do, than taking like a hot shower afterwards and eating and then sitting on the couch. You just feel like $1,000,000, man. The endorphins are there. Your skin's like fresh because you got the sweat out. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, dude, this is the best feeling in the world. You're on top. You can do anything after that. You know what I
mean? For me, man, I did jiu-jitsu for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you, like, after weight training, it feels good. But after like a hard jiu-jitsu training, when you got guys fighting MMA and they want to do MMA rounds with you, I take that shower, and half the time I won't even get the meal in. I just pass out on the couch because I'm just so banged up and tired, man. So some things are definitely better. Like after a weight training session or playing ball or something, jiu-jitsu used to be one of those. But when you wake up the next day and you're kind of sore, that feeling would always be like, all right, cool. Like I did some damage, but I was productive, right? I'm glad I did it, right?
Yeah, that good sore is always like a pump to me. Like it always it's like a feeling of swag. Like it hurts, but it like good hurts. You know what I mean? Like, and then like you walk around like, okay, I did something.
100%, man, 100%.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is cool, man. I wish I was into that kind of. I mean, I am into it. I live in such a small town. There's not many gyms to go learn from. You know what I mean? Like, or you want to get into it. So
Yeah,
eventually, one day I want to get into all that stuff. I don't care how old I am. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I think it's I had guys that were like 60 something coming in, and they're like, "Can I do this?" And I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
We go train, and I'm like, "You don't roll with this guy, you don't roll with that guy." Because as a coach, even in your realm, you can feel the area you're working with. You know which song's gonna just hype everybody. It's the time for it. Which mix, which blend. I see it all the time, especially just in like local stuff. You have all the aunties dancing to the old school stuff, and then all of a sudden the guy puts on some new school stuff, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they're gone, right?
Yeah.
So for me in jiu-jitsu, it always used to be like, all right, so Umer's starting here. He's brand new. I got this kid that's juiced out of his mind, and he's here to try to prove something. They're not going together. I'll be like, Sonny and Umer, you guys go train over there.
Yeah.
And I found that out the hard way too, because I saw a lot of people get hurt, but it doesn't take a lot for somebody to, because jiu-jitsu started off with small areas where there was nobody. You just got the one guy that starts, gets everybody together, then you guys watch some tape. It's changed a lot since I started, bro. Like, you could just have a few DVDs, few like instructionals, and you could start learning. You just grab a couple bros or people to train with, and next thing you know, you guys could have a crazy camp. Like I don't know if do you watch UFC currently?
Yeah, I watch it. Like, I'm not like dedicated because it's usually Saturday nights. I'm usually working, so I don't get to watch it. But like, I see it.
So like, those Dagestani guys, Khabib and Islam, they come from a area that's like kind of secluded. It's they don't have a lot of resources in terms of like, they don't have 50 world champions out of there. They just have their set group of guys.
Right.
But they have access to like, oh, I saw this match with this guy, or I saw this fight with this guy, and they were doing this, that, or the other. And they're just in the lab working. Right. And you don't have to have crazy tough guys in an area to generate like a crazy tough guy. You just need to put in the work. And now in this day and age, you could buy instructionals from the greatest guy in the world, like jiu-jitsu fighter or wrestler or whatever, and you can get good. So all it really takes is that one person to kind of just get the ball rolling, right?
But
you should do it, man. 110%. You should do it.
Yeah.
It changes your ability to communicate too, because not only now are you going to be like, you're confident in yourself, but you're like, I remember the first time we had a guy, he grappled a guy that was like 275, just cranked to the max. And this kid was like 175. And he had been training with me for like 3 years. And he's like, I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're looking at the guy from his muscles. Use your technique. He beat the guy, and it changed everything. His ability to communicate to other people. He wasn't like, like small guy syndrome, where he had to feel like he had to prove himself.
Yeah.
Obliterated that. So I think jiu-jitsu is huge for managing the ego, man.
Oh, that's dope, man.
That's why all these celebrities do it.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, Ashton Kutcher, all these guys are doing it because
they get into it late.
Even Zucks is doing it now. Zuckerberg, freaking Facebook guys, like in MMA and jiu-jitsu and stuff. So it's crazy, man.
And they do it later, dude. They don't really start when they're young. Most of those guys started when they're later in age, right?
Yeah, that sport's for like, I don't want to go on a tangent on jiu-jitsu because I want to make this about you, but Elio Gracie was the one that took jiu-jitsu, and he took it from like being like a strong big guy sport, and he learned about leverage. And he was a small 130-pound guy, had asthma, was very weak, and he realized like, I can't beat these guys with strength. I got to find leverage points. And then he started to add that element to jiu-jitsu. And then his sons just took it and went with it. So like, you could start if you're older, like let's say you're like, I'm going to start when I'm 40, right? Maybe that's when you're going to slow things down.
Probably be.
It might be. But the thing is, bro, like, you're going to learn at a good point. You're going to realize like, I can't probably hang out with this 20-year-old kid in terms of athleticism at this point. Right. You just got to use this here. Use the leverage that Elio Gracie talked about. Right. So I think it's huge, man. It'll change you as a person. I'm telling you, man. It'll change you big time. And like, a lot of people do it and they get addicted.
Yeah, I probably will.
It's a crazy thing. Like when I started doing it with GT, like you're when you're in those positions, bro, your mind starts going like it's insane. I can't even explain the feeling, like how fast you're going, like. And like JT was told me, he's like, if you're thinking about your next move and the person in front of you is in advance, you're done. Because
it's kind of like a flow state, like it's not like you're inherently thinking about maybe you could elaborate a little bit. When you're mixing and you're doing different things, sometimes you already kind of have a feeling like, okay, now I'm going to do it. You kind of hit this flow state where it's like, this is the time. Jiu-jitsu has to get to that point. Like, if you are thinking too much when you're training, and then all of a sudden somebody makes the mistake of trying to fight you on the street, you don't have time to think about, I'm going to do this move and that move. It has to be instinctual.
Instinct, right?
Yeah. So,
No,
but
same way.
I hope you get into it. And if we meet up down here, man, definitely we'll get you started, get you some training sessions in and stuff like that too.
Oh, for sure, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So,
I mean, one thing's the biggest thing, man, I'm noticing the older we're getting and everything is traveling and seeing the world, and, you know, being married with kids and stuff. Now you got a baby boy. Traveling is a huge thing. And with everything you've done, and now, especially with the DJ stuff, where have you traveled to? Like, what's something cool that you've been to that gave you that, wow, man, like, you know, this is so cool.
Oh, man. It kind of, like, what kind of event, or like destination, or
event and destination? Let's do both.
Like, you know, when you're like, holy, like,
because from your end, because I mean, I play dhol, right? So I've done the event side where you're like, wow, dude, this is an insane event. Right. Where I've also traveled to certain places where I'm like, dude, I'm here because of this, right? It's not like and it was paid for and everything, right? So
right. So I mean, the weird thing is, like, you go to, you know, you guys seen it. You see a really good party with a lot of people. You know, you guys know, like, oh shit, that one was awesome. You know, like a few hundred people that are raging on the dance floor. You could be anywhere, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like with us, like, I don't really travel like many places. I like to try to stay in the States. I'll do like Mexico. I'll come up to see you guys, you know, Canada, Toronto, Vancouver, Toronto. But most places, like, I'll get inquiries and in like from like Australia, you know, like New Zealand, and I got one time from Hong Kong, and I'm like, you know, and India, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to go to those places. It's weird. I'd rather stay like in the North America range, you know what I mean? And it's weird, you know, like my travel, I love traveling, but where I travel to, I'm really particular about. Like, I don't really want to go anywhere that like that's I don't know. I just don't have the interest to go like Asia or anything like that. I just don't. I don't know why.
Is it
right now, at least?
Is it more so like just like the whole travel time? Because that's freaking a lot further too, right? If you're going to be going over there, right?
Yeah, it's the travel time, and just like, I feel like there's so much I haven't seen nearby, you know, like that. Why would I want to go that far first, right? Like, I haven't been to like, I don't know what's a good big state that I haven't been to. Like, I haven't seen Montana yet, and I've always wanted to go to Yellowstone. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? There's little things like that, but I don't know. It's like, it's weird. Like, I'm a little bit weird to travel.
No, I 1,000% agree with what you're saying, because I remember one summer I guess we were financially being like, hey, let's just kind of hang back and let's do local stuff, right? It doesn't make sense for us to do 5 trips this summer.
Right.
And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I've never been here before. And it's literally like Maple Ridge, that little park that we went to with the lake, right? I was like, this is amazing. And then that's when it just hit me. I'm like, I haven't even seen the place that I've lived in for 30 plus years, right?
Right.
Never even looked at it properly. So at that point, we decided, like, let's actually go here. So we started to go into Osoyoos. My sister-in-law lives in Penticton. We just started to travel, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I can't believe we missed all this stuff. Because I'm like, Vegas, let's go to San Diego. I lived in San Diego for like 3 months when we were getting ready for the Worlds. So like, we were just like, it was all about like, oh, I gotta go here, I gotta go to Portugal, I gotta go to Europe. And I'm like, fuck, I don't even know my own backyard. So that I totally feel what you're saying there, man.
But like, I mean, event wise, like, I mean, every time you do, like, it's gotten to a point where, like, when I started on this, I was like, whoa, this one was good, this was my favorite one. Then another one would come, be like, oh man, this one was so good, it was my favorite one. They didn't do this crowd just raged all night. And then now it's become every week it's like that, and they're good crowds, and there's, you know, there's just vibing every weekend, and it's, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people. But then I did this one recently in Mexico, and it was 30 people, man. And it just shows you, it was 15 people from the groom side, 15 people from the bride side. And it just showed me that you don't have to have a big crowd to have fun, man. If you have like even 30 of your closest people with you, 15 and 15, like they had it, and they had a blast, man. And I had just as much fun as if I would have been DJing for 1,000 people. You know what I mean? It's just all about like the vibe and the setting. Like, and I've been to parties like with 500, 600, 700 people, and they're like mediocre, you know, not all of them, but like sometimes parties are mediocre. You know that, Sonny, right? Like, you know, sometimes you get
I've been to the craziest setups, bro. Like they spend like $15,000 on the DJ setup and like everything, and you're just ready to rock. You jump on, and you're just like, there's no vibe.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, Honestly, man, I felt like COVID woke me up in the sense of realizing the smaller parties are so much more fun.
Yeah.
Just there's so much more. Everyone's closer. There's no like weirdness. You know, like everyone on the dance floor is dancing together. It's not like 15 different circles. Right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You know, I feel
yeah.
that's what this last one I did in Mexico, and it was literally so much fun, and it was because of that. It was just so tight and small, and it was good. And it wasn't, you didn't need all that shebang for, you know, this and that, like the extra everything, the extra people, the extra, obviously it's gonna be extra cost the more people you have, the extra like bullshit you gotta deal with, like with people, you know, a lot of people come to these events, they just talk smack and leave, right? Like, oh, that's it, you know, and they just show face to, because they got nothing better to do but come and talk smack. I mean, we see it all the time. But you know, it was really cool. So that's something that's actually stands out of my last few years. Is just like, I was like, first when they told me 30 people, I was like, whoa. But then when we got there, the vibe was so good from when we got there and we finished the event, and it was just all around. It was great.
You know, like earlier you said about, you know, I'm really interested in traveling. Like I've talked to people that are in sales and they travel everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, a buddy that he just all over Europe to go everywhere. And when I ask him, like, that's amazing. And he goes back to me, he's like, it's not, because you're going for work.
Yeah.
Because he's like, these people that are gonna, you're taking their like, egos for sale, so they everything's meeting related. But for like us, for yourself, people are gonna pay for your stay that you're there for, that they need you for.
Right.
And then you have, it's your choice to stay extra and spend money to tour and see whatever, right? So said it's a whole different way of experiencing and traveling.
Right.
Does
Like,
it does it
like actually,
does it feel that way for you though when you travel, Umar, or
no, like I always tell everybody, like people ask me all the time, like, do you get tired of traveling? Well, most of my flights are an hour to 2 hours long that I take. You know, like the most place I go to is Seattle. I live in California. It's a hour and 20-minute flight. I think you guys are another 30 minutes if I came up to BC, right? I go to Seattle a lot, and even if I fly to New York to California, you can catch a 3 hour 55-minute straight flight, right? So it's not too bad. So it's not bad, and I try to keep, right now I have a young boy, so like I try to come back quick and take quick trips, just because of him. But after that, like, man, he's in school and stuff, he's, you know, looked after. I will stay longer and check things out, you know. But right now my traveling is really quick. You'll see me in a city one night, city the next night, and back home Monday, you know, the third morning, you know. And that's just right now. But when I get tired of the traveling and stuff, and even right now, I have the option, like I look at my schedule and someone hits me and they're like, okay, do you want to go here? Like, okay, I have this day available the night before I'm here. Do I want to go there? I say no a lot. Like I say, I'll just tell people I'm not available. Right. And which I could be, but it's just I don't want to go to that city. When I ask them, like, a vibe is everything. We're talking about vibe. So every city has a vibe. And I ask them about venues, like venues have a vibe too. Like if we're getting a venue I don't really want to mess with, they have a messy owner. He's always going to be all over the place. I turn it down, do this. I ain't going to go there. You know, I ain't going to waste my event night there. I go somewhere else or I'll take it off. And you
that's
don't
all
have
going to affect at the end of the day, right?
Sorry, what was that?
That's all going to affect your own reputation at the end of the day, because it's like I feel like the whole party's on your head, you know, like the whole vibe of that night, regardless of the owners being bad or the sound being bad or whatever going on, who's going to get blamed?
Exactly right. So do you want to set yourself up for that, right? Like there's like some halls that like have owners that'll come by with those decibel sound guns and they'll say turn it down. It's like, dude, Punjabis, we like music loud. Like, you know, you don't want talking on the dance floor. Like, they want you to turn it down so much, and people look at you like, what's the party over, or is it what's going on? Like, shit not working. So like, nah, man. Like, there's some halls, like I'll tell people, I'm not gonna name them here, but you know, there's some halls I'll be like, nah, I can't. I just don't want to mess with them. You know what I mean? So it just goes back to like the same thing. Like if like you're saying, the travel, I take all that into account to see if I'm gonna go to this event or not.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That's the years of experience talking to, right?
Yeah. You learn with time.
I know earlier you were saying like Jazzy B, the legend, brought you into Punjabi music. And the question I was going to ask you is, with DJing and everything you're doing right now, who are some of the legends you've met? And I know that Jazzy is one of your close people now. You're gigging with them quite a bit. You know, you started the whole Nog intro.
Yeah.
Right, that's gone viral, that everyone's doing now.
Yeah.
And let's just go from there. Like, what legends have you met, man? Like, and what, you know, with the DJ and everything and your whole career so far?
I mean,
a memorable person in this memorable meeting for sure.
I mean, I've met a lot of people, even before, like I was even before I started DJing, I was in the dhol. I got to play dhol with like with Lembut in his peak. You know, I toured with him. I played with KS Makhan, Surinder Shinda. Oh man, Gurlez, when she used to Gurlez used to be the opener for like KS Makhan. Like or Shinda, like no one knew Gurlez, and now she's like a hit machine. And those people, the people who are musicians, like, you know, we know like, damn, this girl can sing. Like I knew from the get-go, Gurlez was like unreal. Yeah.
You guys had way more shows, I feel like, out there than we'd hit here than I think, right?
Yeah, you know, I don't know now. I think that I feel like there's always stuff, but in my time, like when I was doing the dhol game, yeah, there were shows like every weekend.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
Sorry?
I don't remember going up seeing too many shows. Like only thing like there weren't that many from what I can remember. I mean, Ray might be able to see something different, but
yeah, every city here like had a Punjab night. I remember that, and then like the colleges got going with their Bhangra comps and stuff, and then like people started like having clubs out here, like boys, and then they bring down like Wadis guys, and there's the city I live in. They have a Punjabi American Heritage Society, and they're a group of doctors in the city I live in, and they threw the Yuba City Midla every year, and it was fat. Like when before singers, like they would have the bangingest singer every year, like B21 in their band in their prime. They brought Jazzy a few times. That's where I saw Jazzy the first time. They brought like Sufri in his prime. They brought everybody in their prime. They still do it. They brought Diljit in his prime here. Like those guys, this doctor committee, like they really did it. So I got to play with like a lot of artists there. So that was big. And then when I started DJing, man, I mean, shoot, like I met, last 2 years I've, you know, I think Jazzy started this trend of having singers at these smaller events, like wedding receptions, and making people accessible. I mean, people looked at him and were like, okay, shit, if he's doing it, we're gonna do it. So, you know, I've done events with Malkeed. I just did Sherry Mon, Amrit Mon. I've done Gurlez now in her prime. So many people, man. I can't even name them. There's probably more. And I just Gary Sandhu, Jasmine Sandless. I did fucking so That's many. Crazy. You know, there's probably more. Yeah, but the one that hits the most is gonna be Jazzy, man. Anytime you can. I remember I did the first event with him like last summer of 2021, and I was like, hey, man, this is me, man. I'm your big fan. He goes, oh, man, I know who you are. And I was like, whoa. And then slowly like, we started doing like events together. And you know, now we talk almost like every week. So it's like nuts, man. That's still the biggest thing to me. And I think it always will be. Like when you meet your idol, bro, that's like, it's like, there's no other. I don't know who it is for you guys. You know, if it's in the Bhangra game, the old game, jiu-jitsu game, like, you know, whoever it is for you guys, that one person that always motivated you, that one guy, like the GOAT, and he's on your like he's in your circle now. Like it's the best feeling, man.
Meetings are one thing, but having him like the way you guys are now, that's a whole different feeling, man.
Oh yeah, man.
But you know what? A lot of people don't have that opportunity, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how I got it, but I thank God for it every day.
Your hard work.
What was it? Would you say that was like with Jazzy? You were the first time you felt like starstruck? Or was there another somebody where you're like, oh crap, I'm with this person right now. This is crazy.
No, it's obviously Jazzy, man. I mean, there's no one who will ever probably take the place of him for me. And like, you know, still now, like what he's done, like for the game, 30 years, man. Started in 93, is 2023. He's still relevant. But yeah, going back to your question, yeah, no one else really struck me in the Punjabi game, at least. You know, like, I mean, meeting Jazzy and hanging out with him is equivalent to me as meeting LeBron James or Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? It's like when I was 90s, my two favorite dudes to watch were Jordan and probably Jazzy B. And you're linked with one of them. I mean, shit, dude, you can't ask for anything better.
But have you met Jordan or LeBron or anybody?
I've watched them play. I haven't met them. I've met like Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. Most of the time I meet these NBA guys in Vegas.
MJ's on the list, man. That's my all-time favorite, man.
Yeah. I met Charles Barkley. He's dope. Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's a celebrity golf tournament that happens here in Lake Tahoe, California. You guys should come check it out. But it's really popular and it's really accessible to meet these guys if you guys come out here. And it's a good area like for summer vacation for you guys. Like it's kind of similar to you guys as I think Kelowna. But it's called the American Classic Celebrity thing, but it's a huge fundraiser, and these guys are like just talking to everybody and stuff like that. Like Steph Curry out there,
crazy.
You know, like Patrick Mahomes and all these like celebrities, actors, you know, athletes, everything.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's dope.
Next question would be, looking from the outside, what do you think people mostly misunderstand or don't get about DJing?
Oh man, people, oh, you know, a lot of people think we're in it, and you know, they don't have, they might have the right to think it too, because some people probably are, especially in the way shit is in California right now. But a lot of people think we're just in it for the money, and you know, that's not true. Just like dhol, like, man, you know, like with dhol, yeah, we got paid DJing, we get paid, but it's mostly passion, man. We don't, if we want to make something, you know, yeah, now the money is good, but like, you know, it's not always like that. It wasn't always like that, you know.
It wasn't, man. I think I grew up out here. I think when I started playing, the top tier DJ at that time, I think probably was Aftershock.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if I'm correct, I think their most expensive package or whatever they had was like $700.
Yeah.
$800. I think in Butto was maybe like $1,000. And now you
Yeah.
can't get a fucking DJ for that much, which isn't a bad thing. I'm happy it went up that way because the amount of work that's put in.
Right. Yeah.
It's just where it came from, man. Like, people don't understand, man. They don't understand the amount of work that goes into this.
And then, you know, like, and then people think that, like, you know, sometimes I don't know. Everybody's been nice to me. I'm pretty lucky. People who hire me, their immediate, you know, crew is usually really nice. They know who you are, and then they feel your vibe, and then it's been really good. But you know, sometimes you get the drunk uncle, the mama who doesn't really know, and they're just out there cursing you out, and that's where you're like, man, come on, man. Like, you know, that's the biggest perception that, and a lot of people just think you want to party harder than you do, because maybe, you know, that might be my fault, because the way, like, I put myself out there. But I know that, like, you know, like sipping Trulies, you know, and what you put on social media. But like, yeah, I'll drink, but like some people offer me like a little too much, and I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? But like, you know, and it's like it's crazy some of the stuff you come across, but it's always out of goodwill. You get people, for the most part, you know, touch wood, when they're in their happy time, they want to celebrate, and they see you as a part of that, you know, and they want you there. So that's a privilege, man. And that's a good thing. But the biggest misperception, I think, is those two things, you know, like the partying, and maybe some guys do and do it. And I'm not judging, but definitely that's the two misperceptions I've come across.
Yeah. No, I agree on that one for sure.
Yeah.
For any up and coming younger DJs, what are some resources or things you'd recommend?
Oh man, learn the right way. You know, just like you know, just like learn the right way. Don't get into for the wrong reason. And you know, the most of the youngsters I come across, they're pretty damn passionate, man. And don't be afraid to ask anybody for help. I remember, like, even for like take Ray, for example, right? Like, with my music production stuff, like, I harass Ray, like, and he still thinks I don't ask him enough questions, and I feel like I know the shit out of him. Like, so ask people questions, and don't be afraid to, like, you know, don't be afraid to think you're gonna annoy them, because that's all shit. Like, that's how Kobe used to annoy Jordan. You know,
1000%, man.
I think a person would get annoyed if the person's not willing to help. But I mean, when someone's actually there to help you, in that case with Ray and stuff, like, there's no such thing as not enough questions.
Or you don't apply it. So, like, you know, we used to get it at the gym. Guys will come up, be like, how do I look like you?
Yeah.
You give them literally the blueprint, and you see them proceed to do the same thing they were doing before. They didn't even pay attention. I think that's where it gets annoying, right? You're trying to give that guidance, and you look back and you're like, dude, I told you to do something totally different, and you're not even listening. So that's where I could see people getting frustrated, right?
I mean, you probably see this. I mean, this is the same thing how you in jiu-jitsu and training and what you do, you probably notice. But like, when I hear a DJ for like maybe like shift from one song to a second song, I can tell where he's at level wise. Yeah, when I hear someone play a dhol for like 20 seconds, I can tell where they're at level wise, right? And some guys will not know, like will not even want to ask you, but then you'll hear through someone else, like, they're comparing themselves for you, like they're saying they're better than you, or you're overrated, you know. And it's like, no, like, you have to come, you got to know, like, you know, like, there's a difference between
there's
me
levels to this thing, right?
and
levels.
It's not because I have any other superpower that you do. I'm just working harder than you. Just like you said, like, they ask you, oh, how do I look like you? you got to work this fucking hard.
Yeah,
the time. That's the time. I think that gratification that people, they don't want to put the time in. They want to kind of know like, hey, how can I be as good as DJ SLAMZ now? They're not looking at the fact that you were starting, in the 90s. You said in the 90s, right?
Well, with DJing, I didn't start till 2013.
No, you started later, but
well, when I seen Jazzy, 95, man. So that's when that music hit my head.
Should we rock the speed round?
I'm just gonna touch up on one more thing. So like, I know we've been talking about with DJing and everything, right? And I know the transition you're making yourself now into production. How has that been going? Like that, is it? I know you spoke when you were here last, and you're like, bro, it's a whole different world.
Yeah, to me, man, and respect to the guys who can learn it quicker than me, maybe, but bro, that shit was just like when I transitioned to DJing from dhol, I thought it was gonna be harder than it was for me, but it wasn't that. I'm gonna be real, it wasn't hard, right? Maybe because I have the rhythm background with the dhol, but this knowledge you need to like make music from scratch, I didn't know it was this deep, and I'm like, what? I'm like, maybe I started production school. When I started was like during COVID. So, or maybe a little bit before that. So I'm 3 years in, I got 1, 2, maybe 3 songs out to my name. And I still have a lot. Look at 3 years, 3 songs. I just know that when it all comes together, which it is starting now, I'll just be on a speed dial, right? But it is very difficult. It's very, very difficult. And for me, at least, I mean, maybe I'm dumber in this aspect than most, because maybe some kids or some people can get it faster than me, but for me, nah, man, it's been a huge curve, but it's also been a fun learning curve where I've learned a lot, and I think it also helped me in the DJ area, and it's helped me all over. You know what I mean? There's so much that goes into making a song from scratch.
I think while trying to research a little bit for this podcast, I was like looking at some of your stuff, and I think it's you explaining like, this is how I took Diljit's Goat and then like mix it. I'm like, holy shit. So there's like this, there's this, and I'm doing podcast editing, right? So for me, it's real simple. It's just clip this, add a transition, done, right? And I'm like, holy crap. Like mine is literally the main video and then the audio track. And I'm just splitting and clipping those. Yours is like dun 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 dun. I'm like, holy. And in my head, I'm like, how is he adding this beat at the right time to drop with the lyrics? And that's when I realized, like, yo, people who think that this shit is easy got another thing coming, right? Because for me, like, I just started editing. Like, this podcast, you're going to be our number 11 podcast, right?
Right.
And, I'm just, like, slowly chipping away. It's a passion project for us, right? We want to get our friends on here. Hopefully people that are in our audience get to know you better. Sure. And, we just want to get people that we know out there. And we love having a chat. I'm learning so much right now just from you. And just how the industry is and how it all came up. But that editing part, I was like watching it was just a little clip on your Instagram. I'm like, holy crap, there's that much involved with this, because and
that was a simple, like, I would say, average project, man. And another thing is that what I'm learning about this whole production game is it's a dirty, cold industry with fake views. No, like, you think guys who are making money are not making nothing, and you're like, whoa, maybe I should have stuck to just DJing and not even gotten this world. But it's just a passion thing. There's it's just a very bizarre world that I'm like, there's so much political shit that goes into it, and it's like,
it comes down to your why, bro. Like, you're saying, like, for us, it's like me told, everything is passion. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. We do it for legit love, right? We it's something that we actually enjoy doing, and people that are trying to come out and like show this lifestyle, making this much, dressed a certain way, doing this, doing that, it shows, man. At the long run, passion is further, man.
There's money on the line, right? That's usually, it attracts the worst, you know what I mean? Like, I remember our travels to India, we like to go on little we try to go from religious location to religious location and just check it out, see the history, right? And I'm like, yo, dude, like, why is this one that's literally like a mile this way so much more packed than the other one? Like, well, actually, there's a committee within the government that decided to put money over here to try to build this up, even though structurally they're exactly the same. Right. And I'm talking to my dad, I'm like, why the hell are there like hundreds of thousands of people here? He's like, that's where the money is. Right. And he's like, we're going to see what's the faith? What's this? What's that? But it's in the production world, I bet you a lot of it is like, hey man, if I show this, it's gonna bring more dollars my way. So it's usually the money attracting the worst at times,
My knowledge is this, because I mean, I'm not really big, I'm more of an established DJ than I am a music producer yet, but I want to grow that. But my knowledge is this, probably compared to these guys. And what I've learned so far, I'm like, I'm mind fucked. Like, wow, but interesting point. I live in a small town. There's two big gurdwara. They both, there's one on this side of town where I live, and there's one way over here. It takes 15 minutes to get to. Where does everybody go? There's equal amount of Indians, Punjabis that live where I live, and there's equal on the other side. But everybody from this side goes that way because that's the more commercial gurdwara go to, right? Because that's where all the politics are. The big wigs go there. They want to see if there's any drama going on, and that pretty much sums up. And all the money goes in and out of that one, and it's like, oh man, that's kind of the same thing as you said, the situation in Punjab, or when you were checking out the gurdwara, tied into the music production industry. It's all the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking about like influential people, I know you mentioned earlier how like Convict was a huge part in getting for you into DJing. Jazzy was a huge part of your getting to Punjabi music and whatnot. Just as of right now, like currently in your position, or just from the get-go, most influential person in your life that's been there for you? Like, I mean, not been there, but just influenced you and guided you or whatever.
Oh man, that's tough. Influential.
It doesn't have to be one person, because like we asked this question to a lot of people, right? Like we've had boxers, we've had other people on the podcast, and myself,
and the list is usually like 2 or 3. It's really hard to, because narrowing it down to one
person, right? Because different areas, I've had different people,
right?
And like, so I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, same, man. Like, I mean, I would have to say, if you're going on this part of my life, the music stuff, it would have to be obviously Jazzy, my Ustad, dhol Ustad, Lal Singh Patti, right? He's the one taught me the dhol, the basics, the fundamentals, the roots, the grassroots, and then it'd probably be just my family, man. Like, I don't have any brothers, but I have a brother-in-law who married to one of my sisters, and he always told me, like, dude, you can do it. Like, you if anybody's gonna do it, it's you, and he always hyping up my stuff, and anytime I need anything, he's there. So he's been there since I met him when I was like 10. And we just got back from dinner tonight for my sister's birthday, and he's still the same, man. Like, just keep doing you. There's no one better than you, and no one's gonna outwork you. And it's probably them, and obviously all my siblings, my mom, my dad, and that's it. That's grasping my friends. Sonny's been a big part of my life since 2005. Sonny.
Not me, JT.
Yeah, Sonny.
So looking up, I thought you told me you got close with him like a couple years ago. What are you talking about?
Close, like, I think after Raj's wedding, probably what?
Yeah. No, Sonny's. Me and Sonny are close. There's Sonny Bunga, who's like my travel, he's just my best friend. He DJs with me, has my back. He goes wherever I ask him to go with me. And I don't think I would be at this level of success without him. You know what I mean? Cool. So
he's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Shout out to Sonny Bunga, man.
Yeah.
So the next few questions we call it the speed round. It's going to be just quick questions, whether you can elaborate on them if you want to, but they're going to be just straight shooter questions.
Like yes or no?
Yes or no, or like even one-word answers.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'll let GT elaborate on that.
All right. Top basketball team. Your favorite one?
Lakers. Well, no favorite teams, but right now Lakers because LeBron. I'm a players guy.
Okay. That makes sense.
NBA is no loyalty anymore, so you can't really follow a team. Okay,
so favorite player?
LeBron.
All time. LeBron?
Oh, all time? Jordan.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like, So your top football team?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs? Okay, cool. Text or call?
The Super Bowl too,
Yeah. Text or call? Text.
Okay. Favorite day of the week?
Monday, because everybody else hates that day. I love it.
You know what, man? You know what? We've had more people say Monday on this podcast than you would think. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The last song you downloaded.
You know the Monday response though? I found, bro, it comes from everyone that's actually hustling to build a life that doesn't want the employee mindset.
All right.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true.
Every employee hates Mondays, but mind you, I'm still working as a nurse and whatnot, but I don't have a Monday to Friday job. Nurses
right? So, yeah, you guys have that good schedule.
Yeah.
Your last song you downloaded?
Last song I downloaded. Oh man, it was a instrumental. Actually, does that count?
Yeah. Which one did you download?
I think it was "Wanna Be a Baller," Lil Troy.
Okay.
Instrumental. Yeah, I think I was messing around with it to do something or make a mix.
Nice.
No, actually, I just downloaded. I'm making another like a hip hop mix. It's Salt Shaker, Yin Yang Twins. I just downloaded that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What age do you want to retire?
Oh, sorry, what was
that? At what age do you want to retire?
From DJing or for just working in general?
I mean, you'll probably never retire fully from working. We always want to do something, but let's say you want to slow down and be like, all right, I think I'm kind of done. I want to hang it up a little bit and just slow down and spend time with my family.
The DJing ones, 60, 65.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to stop, man. I mean, you stop, you get, and you get older, you get sick. I mean, that's what I've seen. I touch wood not, but people who don't do nothing, they end up like what I've seen is more likely to get sick.
It's actually massive.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you earlier with the DJ stuff. Like, is there a certain grand stage somewhere that you want to be, like an event or something that you just want to like be the main DJ of?
Oh man,
there's people that love. There's festivals that people chase. There's certain artists you want to, like. Is there something driving you towards that, or is just kind of go with the flow?
I haven't been to a music festival. I'm going to Coachella in a month, right? It's my first music festival. I'm only going because of Diljit, right? So I'll check out the festival scene there. But for right now, it would probably be like headlining like at like XS or Omnia or something like that, like somewhere in Vegas, right? I'm more of I love that vibe. I feel like that's everywhere I've been, everywhere I've heard, that's the best party vibe. That's where the best outcome is for someone like me who's a DJ who wants the best outcome. I feel like you're gonna get there. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't been to a festival, so I can't say festival yet or not.
Okay, cool. Your favorite childhood TV show or movie?
Saved by the Bell.
Old school. What about movie? I'm interested about the movie.
Oh, childhood movie would probably be Dumb and Dumber.
Classics.
Yeah.
So your favorite dream destination? Money's not a problem. You can go wherever you want. Where would your dream destination be?
Yeah. Probably like man, honestly, I don't even know. Probably like somewhere in the Cayman Islands, maybe, man. I mean, that place looks good to me. I mean, yeah, that's all I can think of right now. I want to check out the Florida Keys, but I mean, that's not a money problem right now, it's a time problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Do you read?
Yes, online a lot.
Okay, so
and biographies, a lot of biographies.
What would you say are your top 3 books? They can be biographies and things like that, but which ones would you say are like kind of like your top 3?
Jordan Rules is like the one of the first books I read, so it's always going to stand out to me. Cash Creates Controversy. It's a bio on about Eric Bischoff. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, it's really good, man.
WCA.
Yeah, he just tells his point of like how he was put in such big power and made a big change all of a sudden in the game, and then then how he just left like after he got taken down by his competitor and how he dealt with that, and it was really cool, man, the way he wrote that book.
Remind us to tell you the story when we're off air about the Eric Bischoff thing. We'll tell you about it afterwards, bro. It's a funny insider joke.
Okay.
So we got Jordan Rules. You got the Eric Bischoff book. What's the third one?
Oh man, the third. Shoot. Man, I've read so many, but I would probably say, the one I read a lot when I was a kid was the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Man, I love that one. When I was just like a kid's book.
Yeah. For me, it was James and the Giant Peach, man.
It was like,
it was like those. I don't know.
Oh, Roald Dahl. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good, man.
Yeah. Cool. Was there ever like a major light bulb moment in your life, kind of like the day that turns your life around, where you're like, this is what I'm going to do now? Or, because some people do have that enough is enough, or that one catastrophe or that one thing that really changed your life. Like, did you have a light bulb moment? And if you did, what would you say that was?
As far as like DJing goes?
Let's just say in general, let's broaden it up a little bit more. So let's say in terms of your life.
My life was, oh man, like, so I, man, there's been so many of those moments, man, in my life, and especially within the last 10 years that really like just changed my perspective on things. Well, I could give it like a light rundown. So like basically I like I said, I was, like I told you guys earlier, I was working for this really big bank, Wells Fargo, and they completely just fired like a ton of us for no reason, right? And then anyways, later on down the line, karma hit them back, got them really bad. But nonetheless, got fired from there, realized I wanted to do my own thing. Eventually got into this whole music game, and I thought, hey man, maybe I can do this full time by the time I'm X year, which was way years before I got to actually do it, years before the goal I set. And it's been great. And in that time, I met like weird things happened to me. I was working in a job, and not that it's nothing bad. I don't want to say it like, but I was working with 11 women, and I was the only guy. And it was like burning me out, not because of like how they would just get mad at each other and then take it out on me or vice versa, right? And then I took a huge pay cut from this one job to go to another one that was part-time, right? And I don't know why this one day I was on the treadmill, and this lady next to me on the treadmill was like, hey, I don't know how to use this treadmill, but she was really fit. And I was like, how does a really fit person not know how to use a treadmill? And then this part-time job I had, I used to get one day off during the week, and that was the only day I would go to the gym at this certain time when no one was in there. And I'm on the treadmill, I turn it on for her. She starts talking to me anyways, and I'm like, and she goes, yeah, I work for, she goes, I really like you. Would you like to work for Apple? I'm like, for Apple? Like, at that time, Apple was like really dope, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to, but I'm like, I don't want to drive. I know where their office is, like 70 miles away from where I live. She goes, how about if I could set you up from working from where you live right now? She goes, I live down the street. You must, because it's a little neighborhood gym. She goes, my sister lives down the street. I'm here visiting her. You must live around here too. I'm like, yeah, I just live down the road. She goes, well, I can set you up. This is, mind you, 2014, when work from home is not as normal as it is today, especially for a place like Apple. So long story short, I met her, and I was able to work. I was able to drop what I was doing there and have the best like job from home. That was like a light bulb feeling to me. Like sometimes you got to be in the right place at the right time, yeah, but sometimes you got to make a sacrifice to get there, right? So sacrifice is a big thing. I sacrificed money and whatever job, like to go to this lower job than I was doing, and somehow I got rewarded. Like, okay, you ran into this person at that fucking time.
We've asked this question a bunch of times, and usually people don't get it. You articulated it the best in terms of like that one moment that somebody looking from the outside is like, that's normal. Like, that's not that really out there. When you look at it in terms of like how that all plays out, it's like, holy shit, you articulated that really, really well. And that's what I'm talking about. The one moment that to other people, maybe it didn't make that much sense, but it's like, holy shit, that actually made a big difference.
I knew how I was those 2 years going. I was holding it in, but I was like miserable, like going to this job. And I was like, man, I wasn't even into DJing like as much at this time. And I was like, damn, I'm working with 11 women. And plus, and it's hard, like it was hard. And then I took this opportunity, and this other opportunity came right after that. And that was within a 2 month time. I was like down all the time to just being like, shit, I'm happy now, like, you know what I mean? And it was like, wow, 2 months, and in credit, I stayed legit to my core values. I kept up with the fitness. I wasn't always like, okay, I'm gonna resort to the bottle or do some kind of crazy extracurricular stuff to get by. No, it was just stay to the core, be consistent, and it'll pay off. You know what I mean? And that's everything in life, right?
I think that's huge too. That one point you're talking about, understanding your core values. I think if you ask that question, a lot of people, they don't line up, and that's why you notice the dysfunction in their life, right? They don't really know what it is, or they're acting against it. That's huge. Like I look at like high performer, successful people, and usually like they know what their value systems are, and that's how their day is structured. Like that's how they're like, if your family's first, but the first thing you do is think about like how much money you can make on a project, is it really first, right? Like where does it fall in, right? So I totally agree with you there, man.
I don't want any of your like viewers to be like, what does this guy have against working with 11 women? Oh, trust me, I don't have no issues with women. It was just I think the women could relate. Now think about working 11 with them, right? And then you know how it is, man. Like that'd be like one girl working with 11 guys. It'd be really like, oh shit, dealing with that, it's a mess, right?
Yeah. Well, we're not trying to say like anything negative in that sense, right? We're just saying like that was just a situation you were in at the time, for sure.
And I think, like I said, I think women could relate to like the situation when they hear it, like, wow, one dude, 11 women.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like the one girl working in construction is all dudes.
Yeah,
it's the same situation, right? Like, I mean.
Well, now let's change the pace. Your favorite cheat meal or junk food meal?
Oh, fuck. Man. Probably Wingstop, or there's a pizza place here called Round Table we have in Cali. I don't think I think the closest place you guys have, it might be Seattle, but it's really good. That's
I think in Richmond.
You're the pizza guy, bro.
I think Richmond has one. It might have shut down though, 100%.
Round Table pizza, and I mean Wingstop's always clutch for me.
Wingstop, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about podcasts? You big on podcasts?
Yeah, actually, I started my own, and then I had an office where I was doing it, all the technology there, but I had to kind of get out of the office due to a situation. So I'm looking to start back up something like you guys are doing here. But podcasts, I'm big into true crime, man. So I'm into Crime Junkies. Yeah, Crime Junkies, and there's Unsolved Mysteries are the two top podcasts I listen to.
Sonny, have you listened to those? The crime-based ones where they go over, bro. They're really good. They're really fucking good.
I was talking to Billy about that today, actually, like during rehab, and he's showing me exercises as we start talking, and he's like, he lets sometimes when his girlfriend's bored and she's like, I want to hang out, he'll just throw her a crime documentary, and he's like, she gets hooked, and it works though, because he's like, not in a bad way. I'm not saying like throwing him under the bus or anything. It's just there's just so like interesting for so many people, like that you wouldn't think that interests you. Oh yeah, but like they're done so well that like it grabs you, man. And I've heard people watch they listen to 3-4 hours straight.
Oh yeah. I can watch like even like with shows, I can watch like 8 hours of it like straight sitting like just of straight, like I mean I'll get antsy, but I can go. That's one thing I can sit on and watch all day consistently is like true crime. And I listen to a lot of like a lot of the basketball players podcasts are really good. Like if you're in, I'm the NBA diehard fan, so I listen to a lot of like the
Draymond Green has one too, right? Like,
I haven't listened to his yet, but JJ Redick has one that's really good. That's a newer one. Vince Carter has one that's pretty good, and then there's the Up in Smoke with Stack and Matt Barnes. That's really good too, man. And then the barbershop's always good.
You know what, man? Sorry, go ahead, Sonny.
I was gonna ask something we're learning too. Like, are you always listening like through Spotify, or do you actually watching them like through on YouTube?
Apple Podcasts is where I go. Okay. Yeah. I don't get to watch them, but I like to listen. Yeah.
That's the feedback we got too. They're like, man, we listen to your podcast. We've only been posting on YouTube lately. Like, getting on other platforms is massive. But yeah, man, that's it for the speed round.
Solid.
I think now it's important for our audience. How can they reach you? How can they get a hold of you? How can they follow you? What are like your go-to social handles that they can reach you at?
My IG is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. SLAMZ DJ is SLAMZ DJ. Same with TikTok. And you can get a hold of me on those two. Mostly IG. I honestly, weeks will go by before I hit my TikTok. I just, for some reason, never got into TikTok, and I'm actually thankful for it because I mean I've seen how many people just scroll all day, all that, and think about it, you have that. You combine it with IG, you'll be on the phone fucking all day.
Yeah, that, and I remember I was just about to do it. I was just about to download it because shorts and reels and all that stuff, they're very like they're converting a lot now, right? In terms of social media and stuff like that. And I thought, why not just split up our podcast, post that stuff? So I go, but I'm like, all right, let me listen to this Joe Rogan podcast because I keep up with the JRE experience stuff, right?
Right.
And that was the podcast he went on a tangent about, hey, did you know like TikTok basically if you download it and you basically they have full access to your phone, keystrokes, this, that, or the other, like if you actually read it. And I'm like, I don't really know if I want to give access to all that stuff, right? So I actually just decided against TikTok. And I actually love YouTube. So for me, man, for the shorts and stuff like that, I'm thinking YouTube shorts and stuff like that eventually. But so
you can always share those like on IG stories, which is quick.
Repurpose,
It does, repost. It doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
You
so
know,
it's sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, everybody's so big on the word content, these days, like, oh, I got to make content, oh, dope content. Like, it's flooding it. It's a lot of the same stuff on there, right? You look at it, it's the same repetitive. This guy sees this guy do it. This person sees this person do their own thing. Same shit, right? And it gets kind of repetitive, and you just find yourself just scrolling, watching the same stuff, but different people doing the same thing.
I'm gonna ask you about that actually. I myself, like, well, one thing I would say is you've always been different.
Yeah.
You've been creative, different. And what is that, just something you naturally just came with, or is it something you had to learn?
Oh man, I just always I don't try to follow trends, man. Like, I mean, I like with that sense, like right now DJs are like I've noticed this trend, like, and I'm not knocking anything, but like DJs are going to like these fancy places, taking a mixer this big and saying, oh, this and this, use this audio for your reel, and not just one guy. I saw one, Jimmy did it first, and then now I've seen like everybody doing it in a different location, but all gonna low, all gonna put it with this song. This song sounds like it's pre-mixed or whatnot, but and then it's not something I want to do. I want to just stick to the core, same thing, mixing one song into another. That's what's going to do it. The way you do what you do the best, no one else can do it. No matter what anybody else is doing, you got to just do you, and that's it. Everything else, what's meant to be, is going to take care of itself. It's going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the content flood, like people are just posting because they want content. They want content. Like with me, it's like, oh, okay, this one's cool, I'll post it. I'm not just post it. If I have shit to post, now I post.
Yeah. I read a book from Gary V, Crush It, back in the day. And he talked about like people trying to create content. Is like, listen, you're unique in your own way. Yeah. Not everybody's just like, Gill, you're different than a lot of other people, your story and everything. So he's like, rather than creating content, just think about documenting. Just take a look at your life, what you do. That's all the content you're going to need, Yeah.
So most stuff I post, like I like that I like post is like stuff from like my boys will post, like record at an event and be like, yo, we know this was going to smack. That's why we posted it, or that's why I posted it, or like something I'll just really like and I'll post. But like, I just see people like, like I said, this whole thing where they're taking a mixer here, this cool location. And it's like, it was cool when I saw the first 3 guys do it, but now it's like everybody's on that train. Whereas me, I wouldn't do that. I would, okay, what can I do that's different than this? That's just how I think.
No, that's how it should be, man.
Yeah, because I think people want to become viral, so they're trying to catch trends, catch views.
Yeah.
But like that's what I mean. Like when I was watching that little bit of you clipping together the song, I'm like, that's something that you do on the regular anyways.
Yeah.
So like just you documenting that, I'm like, holy shit, that's
I've only
cool.
posted that something like that once, and I make mixes fucking all the time.
Yeah. And that's just you documenting it, right?
And then like people are so desperate over likes, comments, and shares or whatnot. Like the value of that is, and how many followers people have, the value of that's all going down because there's so many people with so many followers now for nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong, like real talk, attractive women, don't do much. They look great. They have fucking so many followers, right? You guys seen that, right? And like, and you're like, okay, like it was cool. It was back in the day, it was like, wow. Now you're like, okay, like me, I personally think that people with less followers are kind of more interesting. Like they're usually the people with more followers, they have like the same stuff, like use my promo code for this, or
you notice with like myself, this is not like a hate thing, negative thing before people start talking shit. It's just like a lot of these people that are on social media behind the camera, they have followers, they have this, they have that. You meet them in person and there's no personality.
Oh, dude.
Like it's not to dog on anybody. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to talk is be true to yourself, man. Like if you are who you are in front of the camera, you are who you are, and you're entertaining people. How can that not happen in person? Like I'm not gonna say names, but I saw somebody a few years back and crazy online, right? Like you're just like, wow, like commenting, people are commenting, you know, like you still saw this person. I didn't even know it was that person until somebody pointed it out to me.
Oh wow.
And I was like, how is that the same person?
Yeah, I
Right?
got my share. Like,
and I asked him, and I was like, how? Like, why are you like so quiet? And the guy's like,
yeah,
dude, I don't know how to be here. I'm so
yeah.
used to the camera.
Damn, that's crazy. You know, it goes both ways for me. I've met people that are like night and day difference, like
Yeah,
in both
it's
aspects. So
crazy.
I see meet
Yeah,
people who are very who are whoa, you're like so active on social, and in person you're just like, you know, you're
mhm.
just not the same. You don't talk as much. But then I've met people who are like, who I thought were already cool on social, and I see them in person, they're even doper. You know,
Yeah,
like they're
yeah,
even like cooler and like they're even friendlier. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
like it goes both
100%. I'm
ways.
just both ways
Yeah,
to it, but
yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying in a negative. I'm just saying in like it's just social media. It's just crazy, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And people, you know,
It's
what crazy thing is
just
people like, you know, there's people I talk to and they're like, it's unreal how many people say, yo, man, like we wish we could like live like you. And I'm like, dude, you can't. Like that's not like it's not a freaking hard task. Like you are in control of you. You know, you can't
yeah.
wish that you can live like something. Like you got to go out and live it. You know, like why are you doing it, or why are
Yeah,
you saying that? Like you got
yeah.
responsibilities. You got this. Yeah, you might have responsibilities, but you know, being busy, we have a lot of help. You know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
you know, so
I
I
think
mean,
I think it's huge too, bro. Like the compare and despair is what I call it. You know,
yeah,
people, especially young kids growing up, man. Like we all have young kids right now,
yeah,
and they're growing up and they're looking at these influencers and they're looking at these people and they start to compare their lives in comparison. And you know, that's why you see a lot of this stuff where they're comparing and despairing and wondering like why they're not there yet. And it's like, listen, some of these guys rent out Airbnb a place, act like they
oh
live
yeah,
there, make a few videos, and you think they live there, or they show this crazy relationship that they're like, you know, it's the greatest thing ever. Meanwhile,
yeah,
they're just hanging on by a hair, and they're gonna break up soon, you know. So it's just kind of you got to take everything with a grain of salt. So that's why I'm like old school. I got to see people face to face, you
same
know what I
man. Like,
mean, and see
yeah.
like, okay, now I know this guy. Now I know how he is, you know.
I've gotten in arguments with like people who like I've like used to hang out with pre cell phone like text messaging days.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if you guys notice, but like I have like it's mostly like people that will text you, but you'll be like, okay, let's hang out. Like nah, and months go by and they're like, oh, we still be talking. I'm like, yeah, we talk on text, but we don't like hang out, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
how it used to be, right? Like I ain't about that. Like if you're down and you if you're down with it, like I want to see you. He's like old school, like you said, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like and I've had to like some cut people off because they were just like down to text all the time. But like you're like, let's kick it, let's go here, let's go on a trip. No, we don't want to go. Like, well, I ain't no texting buddy, so deuce, deuces, you know, like,
No,
and
I think that's massive, bro. Because like you could talk to somebody for like 5, 6, 7 years. Like I haven't even fucking met you, like in
yeah,
person, or maybe it was one time and
Mhm.
we've never met since.
no, I'm talking. This
Uh,
is family, like this is blood relation. Like I'm like,
yeah,
dude, yeah, let's do this, and at the end of the day, you're like, fuck, I'm over it, man. I ain't trying to carry all this shit, you know. And it's sad what these things have like done to some things, you know. I mean, and
hmm
we're all guilty of it,
It,
and we're all
it's
like,
it's
you know,
it's
part of it.
ruined so many things, man. Like I was talking about that recently too, like family relationships, just relationships in general with people, because texting has no context.
No,
There's no
no,
tone, nothing with
there's
it.
no gauge of emotion. Yeah,
You be talking to somebody about something that just happened, some family stuff, or whatever the conversation is, and you just saying something normally, but that person took it completely different and shit just blew up, or whatever happens, right? But like back in the day, like our times was you met everybody. So if there was an issue, it was a face to face conversation.
or a phone
yeah,
It
call and you
was
hear
like,
their
yo,
voice, or you hear their
yeah,
voice and you can hear like,
like,
okay, he's not being condescending. He's actually being real. Like
yeah.
on you can hear it, right?
And you know and people like valued that, right? The values were different. It's taken so much away from like the value and the value of emotion, right? Like you don't know, like people think they know everything that's going on about you by what you post. Like that's not it's not real, man. Come on, you know,
yeah,
like
Absolutely,
yeah,
I
most
agree
of us,
with you.
like me, I run my social, you know, mostly for business, you know, like I don't like putting a lot of personal stuff out there. And you know, a lot of people who are big time in the industry have told me personally, like, you're not supposed to, probably shouldn't, in the position you're getting into or you're climbing towards, you probably shouldn't put a lot of personal shit out there. Smart.
There's some crazy people out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's some crazy, like I've been fortunate and blessed to meet some very high profile MMA fighters.
That's dope. Yeah.
And the thing is, man, like some of these guys, when you hear the stories, like he's like, I posted something with my son and this, and this, and the guy found out the location and tried to meet him there. You know what I mean? Like didn't even like pin drop or anything or put like I'm here. Just from the scenery alone, this crazy fan was there within like, maybe he lived close by. He literally just went there, showed up. The guy's like, what the hell? Trying to get pictures and stuff like that. And, that's what was the first exposure for him where he's like, oh, okay, I got to stop posting my kids on here because you're going to get somebody that's like kind of crazy, sees your kid, you never know what the evil in people, some of the people, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, and that all goes back to like people can't take what you see on social media seriously and compare it to your life. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a past tense. Maybe like people got that like 2-3 years ago when all these motivational videos like with Gary Vee and stuff got popular. That was like 3 years ago. There's like, huge stuff, but I think people still do that, man. Like some people I talk to, I'm like, wow, you like really think like that?
Yeah. And there's a lot though, man. Like I always think about it like this too. If the self-help stuff was really that good, you'd only need one book.
Yeah.
Why is this industry still blowing up and you got another self-help person and that, so I always look at it in that aspect. And it's crazy the amount of people that digest like motivational stuff all the time, like new stuff. And it's like, yo, man, they're just repurposing stuff. You know what I mean? Like you could do it the MJ way where it's kind of angry, like very, very, competitive.
Yeah.
And then you can just have the guys that are like more stoic, that are kind of just like, this is the job that I have to get done. And they're not so emotional about it. And, there's so many ways that you could do it like that, but it's still like the same things, right? What is it? The 10,000 hour rule in that book, Outliers, where it's like putting 10,000 hours of time into a skill and then you start getting better and better. It's time, man.
Exactly, yeah. And some of the most motivated people, or there are people that are most motivated, like let's take someone like Kobe or Braun or whoever, they don't need to see all these motivational quotes. They don't need to hear all this motivational shit. They just know what the fuck you got to do. They got to do, and they do it. We all know what we got to do to get better. All three of us know, and people listening to this, or people who listen to podcasts recently, or regularly, or motivational stuff. I'm gonna be real. They don't need to hear that stuff. It's not gonna make a difference. The difference is all here and here, right? It's all in you. Yeah, that can maybe inspire you that much. But if you hear it so much, the value of it's going to go down. We know what we got to do every day when we get up to get better or to hit our goals, and we got to do it. And still, it's crazy. A lot of people still won't do it.
It literally comes down to like I've been JT myself. Like we went on some big network marketing companies and whatnot, and constantly just telling you to come around. It's pushing this motivation, same repetitive stuff into you. And it's like, the concept of success in whichever you're trying to do, whether it's like a work goal, whatever it is, it's the same.
Yep.
It's the basics of that industry or basics of that job, whatever that fit is. It's simple, but nobody wants to do the repetitive work.
Yeah.
No one understands that. Like you want to get better handwriting. You're going to have to keep writing all day.
Yeah.
But it's a mundane work, right? That's what really gets people. Like building a solid body. It's basically follow your nutrition and get some exercise in. And it's like that repetitive kind of mundane work at times. People kind of drop the ball. What was it, man? Jim Rohn said it back in the day. Like the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do.
Yep.
Right. But I think that's a good one, man. That was the way you're very good at articulating stuff, man. Like that last little bit. Yeah, it really gets the point across in like a nice, like, a perfect way of putting it, man. That's awesome. Sonny, you got anything else for Umar?
No, bro, pretty basic. I mean, it was awesome, bro. That was awesome, man. One of the best podcasts I've had so far.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's Umar Gill, DJ SLAMZ. Bye, everybody.